What is up, my chaotic crew? Bentley Michaels here, and hey, the last solo bolo with Paelias. You're about to listen to it, and then we're into season 3 because it'll be 2019. Aren't you excited? I'm very happy that the fanfare. It's like, oh, this is so great. The Paelias episodes, they've been wonderful to listen to. It gives you a little bit of a hint behind what he did in between seasons 2 and what's going to be happening next with season 3. We're very excited to let you all hear it. We also have some very cool things happening, in the behind the scenes. Did you guys check out the Josh Lorimer interview from, old Greg from Sneak Attack? If you haven't, please do. It's in the feed. Last Thursday, according to this episode, which would still work out time-wise because I'm a master time travel expert at this point. Oh, man. Well, I guess we just wait for that music to start in like 3, 2... Oh, wait.
In a vast landscape full of adventurers, you are now listening to the world of chaotic amateurs.
And welcome back to Chaotic Amateurs and this very special Paelias solo session. I am your host and DM for this. Bentley Michaels. Across from me is...
Dash as Paelias Ian Earth.
And last time, ladies and gents, Paelias recruiting his sailing team. They went out onto the waters, and he's like, row, you idiots, row. And fire the cannons, hoist the jib.
Said all of that.
Yep. And then... he got a, what'd you call it? Oh, a Bloody Judy.
Yeah, I got one of those Bloody Judies. Some places call it a Bloody Mary, but not in this time.
Yeah, not in this realm. And then Paelias, being the man we've come to know and love, you remind me of like Ralphie in A Christmas Story. You keep getting pushed, and then you're finally pissed, and you're like, "All right, time for big guns." And then and then whoever or whatever you're fighting against is just done.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I melted that assassin.
Yeah, you melted the assassin. He's just a pile of goop. And you know what? I'm going to say, because you did it in such a spectacular fashion, as Paelias is one to do, with just over-delivering in the damage dice and the numbers. You cleaned off your ship a little bit. You went and got like your deck scrubs and your stuff. You poured his goop into the body, and you go, ugh, and still time for a full rest. And
nice.
So by midnight, you're in your bunk, humming little tunes to yourself or whatever to put yourself to sleep, and you wake up fully rested, and come out of the captain's quarters, and everyone's on your boat, and they're like, "We were just about to go wake you. We got to still sail around to get in there, and that's going to take us a little bit."
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I got attacked by an assassin last night.
And Tarad looks at you, got attacked by an assassin, and like Strollgon is immediately like bow out and like arrow knocked quicker than you were like, how did that happen? And he's like looking around,
No, we're fine. I melted him, and then I swept him off the deck with my mop. But yeah, I got attacked by an assassin. He shot me with an arrow, stabbed me in my ribs. It hurt, but don't worry, we're fine. Now let's go sail. And he seems to just kind of move on from it, like it was just another night.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, what?
Yeah, and Dip kind of like motions for Strollgon to like bend down, and all Strollgon does is tilt his head, and he like stands on his tippy toes, even though there's 3 feet in between him, and kind of covers his mouth. He's like, does he seem a bit crazy to you? And Strollgon with his elven ears is like, I actually think that he knows exactly what he's doing in a madness kind of way. And Dip's like, well, I can get behind that then. And Up to the crow's nest. Aye, aye, Captain, my captain.
All right, that's what I like to hear. I
and-
think we're ready to go.
Everyone mans their positions, and the two half-orcs go down below to man the guns and get the oars ready. I had, just for the listeners out there, I had before above deck when originally Yamhorn and Duroc were doing the oars. They were above deck. But you said the below deck thing on this, and I was like, yeah, I guess they would be below deck. So I just want to put that out there for the canon. Paelias did it on purpose to mess with these these guys. He's like, nah, I'm going to make it harder for them. And so they get the cannons ready. They make sure they're doing the checks, and after about 15 minutes or so, they got all the powder kegs and the cannonballs and everything's good. And, you say sound off. You tell everybody to sound off. Everything checked. And you hear a resounding shout from 4 individuals. Aye, aye, Captain. And you tell them it's time to push off.
All right, let's get ready to go. Oh, wait, no, we're ready. My bad. Let's go.
And so the oars come out of the left side of the ship and sort of push you away from the dock. And there's and then all of a sudden the other end there's a little bit of rowing. Strogon drops the mast as you're turning and making your way out of the smaller bay. A light wind picks up and starts to carry you, and you're gonna go. Let me see here. Look at my map so I can say the right directions. You're heading east out the bay, and then you're going to start turning north, and then northwestern, and then purely western. And then as you come around the top, you come around this sort of big, jagged mountain rock. And to your left, you see the ships all lined up, the ones at least that are not the pirate ships. Or the pirate ship of Roland the Red. He's sort of standing in the center, in between the two land masses of the wide opening, almost as if that's the starting line. And you bring your ship down a little southeastern, flip a U in the big bay, and bring it up to right next to Roland's ship. And you're both at a dead stop now. And you see Roland the Red on a much larger pirate ship with more sails, more crew, more cannons, more oars. And he shouts out to you,
Paelias, what a fun little ship you have.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty good ship. Oh, by the way, I got a good scrubbing on my deck this morning, using what was left of your mate from last night. So thank you. I'd like to thank you personally, Roland, for providing me with a weird organ, bloody bone, gooey deck cleaner. I think I might use it strictly only that every time now.
He sort of stiffens a little bit, and like he's collecting himself. And then he just flashes a big ol' half-dragon grin at you and is like, I surely don't know what you mean. But then, you can see there's anger behind his eyes because, he was hoping it would take care of it. And he also knows that he, lost one of his top, assassin dudes, and he's pissed about that. And now, in a little dinky rowboat, flops out just like this sort of this younger guy, and he's got 2 white flags. He's like, all right, everyone knows the rules of Grim Reaper.
Unfamiliar.
First, you are going to be traveling out west. Out. You have to get your boats up to speed, and once they are up to speed, hopefully, you will be at full speed. And on both sides of you, there will be targets for each of you to hit. You need to be far enough apart, lest ye hit each other. Be careful. There's barrels out there floating. The person with the most out of 10 barrels on either side, 20 total,
will get points. Then, through the navigation phase, and he's just starting to get really weird into it with his flags in his hand. He's like, the navigation phase. You must go right, you must go left. You must make the right and correct choices, or else you will be docked points. And boys, we're racing for ownership slips today, okay? Now, you flip your ships around, and you have to make the long shot, which is worth 10 points in and of itself. Now, finally, speed to the end. The first person to cross me will get the checkered flag of skulls and bones.
And it's a checkered flag like normal, but if it's a white checker, it's a black skull and bones. If it's a black checker, it's a white skull and bones. And so he's like, and this is final. Everyone here knows it's final, and you will be held accountable. You cannot welch on this. So,
who's ready for the Grim Reaper?
I am. I'm ready. Let's do it. All want to do this now. Let's do it. Come on.
All right. Everybody, as everybody knows, the sails are up. You've brought them up, so you sort of sit there. And, all right, everybody. On the fire of my pistol is when we start. You will start with a row, and after you get moving, drop your sails, and off you go.
Alrighty. Ready yourselves, men.
3, 2, 1, and then...
Let's go!
Okay, and let's roll for row. Okay, plus strength. What are the strengths of these two? Plus 4s. Okay, great. So they both pass and they start rowing, and because it's a lighter ship, it almost seems like you get like a little bit more of a sort of a head start, because while they have more oars, they are pushing a much larger weight because they also have a bunch more cannons and more people on there, and so you're sort of off actually to a little bit of a head start. And let's see here. That's them. Let's roll for the other guys. Okay. Oh, no, they are not doing well. They're not working in sync because there's too many people. And so you are doing well, and you're out enough ahead, and you, at this point, may yell for Strogon to drop the sails if you like.
Strogon, drop the sails!
Aye, aye, Captain! And with a +4, great. He passes that, so he nimbly, like... you're a man who likes to kick a sail on occasion, and he, like, so elvenly nimbly, you're just like, oh, you disgusting elf. Like, he just, like, jumps up and does, like, a little spin kick and kicks the thing and then, like, lands, like, perfectly, like he hadn't moved at all, and it just flops down and furls, and the wind catches from behind, and it's going well, and you are out ahead of them at this point.
Paelias shouts back at Roland.
God, these guys suck. They are definitely behind you at this point.
Yeah, he yells back at Roland. Hey, Roland! Eat more sails, or wind, or wire. I don't know. Eat something, you stupid ponce.
Now, Paelias, you see up ahead of you, coming up in front of you, barrels on either side, classic pirate ship barrels, and they're on either side of you, and these. This is for target practice. So you have to tell your guys that you're coming up. You're still the captain here.
All right, guys, we've got some barrels to hit. So ready the guns on the port side.
They're on either side of you. So, like, they're
ready the guns on either side.
All right. So they are going to, let's see here, Tarrant and Gromach. That you guys are. So you're in it, and you're starting to go by, and they're sort of spaced out a little bit differently, so they're not equal because they've sort of been floating around a little bit. And okay. So Tarrant hits one. And you can continue to make commentary as they're shooting. So they're shooting the entire time right now. Good
shot, Tarrant. Nice job. Remember, we're moving, so you gotta account for that, for distance and speed and stuff. I've never shot those cannons, so I don't really know. And Gromac, yeah, nice job on the other cannons. Yeah, we're doing good. We're shooting barrels. We're shooting barrels, baby. All right, good job, Gromac. Good job, Terran. Yeah, I'm just up here steering, baby.
They're like, keep it steady, Captain, keep it steady.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I'm keeping it steady. Yeah, I'm keeping it steady.
And let's see here. Oh man, these guys are doing really well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And their last rolls. Oh, good. Okay, so they did really well. Tara hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Gromok hit 6 out of 10.
Nice.
Now, as you are exiting that, you look back, and because you hear cannon fire for the first time, they're doing a little bit of cheating because they're shooting 4 at a time. So 2 are shooting up ahead, and then 2 are shooting off to the side. So let's see here. They hit. Oh well, they didn't hit crap except for 1 on that one. So there's 4. And there's no real specific rule about how many times you can reshoot at something.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really, but it's also, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. And the final. Oh, they did not do well. Okay. Those fools apparently not as good at their cannons because they only hit 5 total.
Yikes.
Out of 20.
Paelias looks back and sees how they're doing, and he takes a quick glance because he don't want to take his hands off the helm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, looks like you could have used that extra man I scrubbed my deck with, huh?"
And the roll me a charisma.
Natural 20.
Okay, then the wind carries that back, and you see his fist shaking back at you a second later.
Angrily.
Yeah. And he's actually, you hear like a small gunshot fire, and you see that he just, even though he knows it's useless, you see him like holding a pistol and like putting away, like he tried to shoot at you from hundreds of feet away with that stupid old flintlock pistol of his. He's not happy with you. All right, now this is the one that's up to Paelias. You're right now in training for something that's already happened, but not technically within the timeline at this point. Navigating that reef, son. So you've got a slalom course to go through. So up ahead, you can see how it's set up. They've got different flags, and each color dictates whether you turn right or left. So the first one is a left turn, and you shout to your crew to after they've gone through to get their oars ready. So they've got their oars prepared, and they're going to help you. And so I'll see. Water bottle. Water bottle is whatever this side is. You just, from your point of view, because it's a mirror. So this is your left, right?
Yeah, it's my left.
Okay, so water bottle is left. Pepsi can is right for you. So I'm just going to hold them up so you know which one, and then you shout out to the guys, and then I'll roll for them. Okay. All right. So you get to the first. You get to the first thing.
Left. We're going left, guys.
All right.
All right.
Okay, great. They both rolled 19s. And what did you roll? Add your what would it be? What do you think? Dex or strength?
Well, I mean, am I trying to get them to, or I'm turning it?
You're turning the helm yourself, so like your dexterity?
Yeah, let's go Dex.
Okay, let's do Dex since it is sort of like a rapid fire thing. Okay,
so it was 7.
Okay, so you and it is going to get harder. The first one you narrowly skim by, and and that sort of thing, and
going right. Okay, now it's a right turn.
Okay, and you?
5.
Okay. As much as they tried, they both just met they both rolled 12s. They both met. And so they try to do it, but you don't, like, your hands slip, the little splash of water gets up on you or whatever. The seas are getting a little bit rougher here, and splash of water, and you kind of slip, you're like,
Oh.
And you just kind of run over the next barrel.
Whoops. All right, we're going right again. It's another right.
Ooh, okay, they both succeeded. Paelias?
God, son of a 3. They're getting progressively worse. Well, it's a 4, but...
Okay, and
Jeez.
yeah, you slip. You kind of like keep slipping, and like you run over the next barrel. All right, and now let's see. The other ship has entered into their first, and yeah, they definitely passed the first one, so they are on 1, and I'm just gonna catch them up real quick. They passed the second one, third one. There's 5 of them. They fail that one. Okay, so they're starting to sort of catch up behind you because you're running over barrels and you're kind of slowing down. And now, Paelias, you see the next barrel.
We're going left now. Let's hope I get this one.
They both passed with flying colors, so
9.
they both rolled a 19 and an 18. And so the dex is it's at 12. So like they do enough that you barely squeak by this one. You see up ahead of you two quick successions.
We're going left and then we're going right. It's going to be quick. Stay sharp.
All right, they both rolled insanely well. So Paelias rolled 2 20s on this one. Or you can just roll the same one twice. Doesn't matter to me.
13 and a crit fail.
Okay. So the first one, with left, you go, and then you just kind of, you forget about the second one, and you just start to turn your ship around because you think we're at this, at the point, but it's a little bit slower because they're still turning. You said right. And they're like, you kind of hear them like shouting out through the porthole. You said right. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, no, my bad.
And they just like, and you start to turn it back right. And they're like, well, it's too late now. We got to flip around.
Whoops. All right, let's flip around.
Let's see here. They do not pass their fourth one, and woof, they did not pass their fifth one either. So they're navigating while there's a little bit more space. They kind of like measured it according to ships and that sort of stuff. They too sort of did a very, because they got a crit fail and a 3, so they did a very similar thing. Because like he was like, oh, he's turning around already, okay, and like he sort of like takes your lead or whatever. So you guys are circling around to the left, and you know this is the long shot. Paelias, you have this fun little porthole that kind of like pops down in front, underneath deck for like, it's like a secret sort of gun thing, and they you're like, tell me when you're ready, and that sort of thing. And now we're gonna roll for Dip, who's going to tell you how far off the target is based off of like, he's got his little, his spyglass out or whatever, and he's sort of coordinating like a sniper's assistant would.
All right.
So I'm gonna roll for Dip. Yep. What was it? Yeah, +2. Okay, totally. So he got an 18, and let's roll for Tarid to take his instructions. Ooh, wow, 14 + 4. Okay, he got an 18 as well.
Nice.
So they're communicating extremely well, and Dip's like, all right, it's about 300 feet that way, straight out. Now it also looks to be floating off of the ground a little bit, and he's just shouting instructions, and you kind of hear like some clinking and some clunking of like, and he's like, all right, I think I got it. And he's like, well, then fire, Ted. And then you just, and you see this cannonball just shoot out straight, and this is the first time that anyone notices on your ship why at the front of the ship, they always sort of have like those long sort of like needle noses, at the van.
Yeah.
Everyone was always like, why is his point so far up? It's like, it seems a little bit off angle. He can't use it for ramming. And it's so, at these higher angles, it's not going to get blown off by a cannonball. Paelias is a thinker. He's got his...
Oh no, I look dumb, and I sound dumb, and I act dumb. But I am slightly smarter than dumb.
And the way that your little secret sort of porthole opens is like right out the front chest of that big mermaid. So that sort of just like pops down from like neck to waist, and then it's just like the long sort of cannon thing comes out. So you don't technically, instead of ramming, your thought is, well, instead of ramming someone, I'll just shoot a cannonball directly in front of their ship because you're such a smaller ship. And so they hit the target, and you've got let's see here. Let's see what the other guys. They swung their thing around, and you may tell them now to take off because now it's time to start rowing again. And
all right, it's time to hit the straightaway, boys. Let's go.
So they start rowing.
Hit those oars, and I'll try and keep it straight.
Okay, 16 and 18, good. And let's see, let's roll for their accuracy in their communication. Oh boy, 7 and 19. So not so much the accuracy being told to it, but the shot is really good. Let's roll again just to see the one guy's. So he thinks he has it lined up really, really well, and he just sort of shoots it, and he did not roll well, and it misses. So he gets a 0 on that, but I think the reason he missed is because they had already started to try to pick up speed, so he was actually moving forward, whereas you kind of came to a dead stop, and now you're rowing, and the sails, good, they're coming down, and you're going at full. You're going at full speed now. It's taken up. You've gone probably out with all of this stuff. You've gone out over a mile away from the cove. The rocky terrain is much smaller, but getting bigger with every second as you pick up speed. And almost as if the gods themselves are watching this in entertainment. They give you the perfect amount of wind that just seems to change with which way your boat is going.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I've got gods on my side.
Roll me a Constitution for your what did we say, Dex for your driving?
Oh yeah, Dex.
Okay, yeah, roll me for that. I'm gonna roll
5. I can't roll well at all.
It's because you're not trying to kill somebody.
A natural 20.
Okay. And luckily your two guys are they're sort of correcting because they just rolled 16 and 18, and they're kind of like correcting like your sort of sloppy piloting. However, the other team just rolled insanely well, and they're gonna fire at you. And I've given your ship an AC. Let's see if they beat it. Whew. They both miss this time. You see cannon fire, and like Paelias, you hear the cannon fire coming off to your right, and you see two cannonballs, one much shorter, like sort of like head out in front of you and not actually get there, just like halfway between you and the other ship, and then one kind of like clunks within a couple of feet, and you're like, and now you've got a ship to your right that's kind of catching up to you. It's like, it's definitely gaining on you.
Like to my back right?
To your back right, and it's slowly getting up on you.
All right, Paelias turns and looks at the ship and goes, well, this pont seems to forget that I'm a wizard. I point at his sails and I cast Fireball.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, cast Fireball.
Yeah, on his sails.
They just rolled insanely well, so they're catching right up to you, like they're almost right alongside of you. And I'm gonna give Tara the.
Did he crit fail?
Both Tarad and Gromok crit failed. Look at this.
Unreal.
Come look at this. Like, I'm reluctant. Let's see.
Show me. Oh, that is unbelievable. That's ridiculous.
So they they got a little bit scared. They've never been under cannon fire before, and they pulled the oars in, and they're just like, they're kind of like frozen, they're like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? And so anything you'd like to shout at them, or because you hear your cannons aren't firing back.
Come on, boys. Steel yourselves. This is what we signed up for. Think of your sister, huh? Do it for her.
And then you hear like an aye, like finally it's like they snapped out of it. Took a second. Okay, now we're talking. Yeah, they rolled much better this time. They now they got an 18 and a 21. So with their +4. So one of them brings the other cannon over, and they fire, and they fire, and let's see here. Let's see how much 2 cannons. Oh man, they do 12 points of damage. Like you see, like that ship. You see the Howling Knight. Which is a Roland the Red ship. 2 of your cannons, boom, they hit it directly on the side. One of them kind of bounces off and you see it crack, but one of them kind of hits like a porthole where one of their cannons are, so it kind of like, because it's like in a more open and less structurally sound area, breaks right through, and now it's like, instead of where the square used to be, now it's got like a little round puzzle piece missing out of the square.
Nice.
And you hear a guy go like, "Wah!"
Nice.
And and so they're gonna. And I'm sorry, I cut you off. What would you like to do?
What happened to my fireball?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I shot a fireball at his sails.
Okay, and so what do you gotta roll?
Well, anyone in the area, in the 20-foot area, who might be around has to make a dex saving throw.
Okay.
And it ignites anything that's flammable. So if the sails are flammable, they go up in smokes.
Okay.
In fire.
Okay. What do I gotta beat?
15.
I'm rolling an AC for a ship.
Oh yeah, 15.
Okay. The ship rolled 19.
Damn it. So it's still half damage.
Okay. So, all right. So you're rolling damage for the ship.
Yeah, 4d6.
Okay.
$15.
Okay.
To the sails and anyone in the 20-foot radius, which I don't know, maybe like, if it's that high up and it goes straight out, probably just hits no one but the sails.
All right. Yeah, I like the idea that you were probably, because that's initially what you said, like, I'm going to cast Firebolt at the sails.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you shoot it right at the mast and the sails, and they are on fire. And you did how much? 15?
15.
Okay, they are definitely on fire. And the sails, all 3 of them, you just hit it perfectly, and right in the center, and they're starting to burn from the center, both up and down.
Yeah,
and that ship is starting to slow down just a little bit. You are definitely in the final sort of stretches. They're going to fire at you. Oh god, they suck. So, dude, 7 and 4. So they just
nice.
They're off, and they just they shoot, and it just sort of plunks next to you. But now what once was almost starting to get ahead of you because they have more sails, now you start to see it you're starting to even out, and then now it almost actually looks like you're starting to go behind. And let's see here, let's roll for you driving real quick. They your guys below, Tarad and Greymuck, they rolled 18 and 17. Let's roll your what is it, Dex, right?
Yeah. I'm going to use my black one. Maybe this one will roll better. Son of a crit fail. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So
3 crit fails.
yeah. So you okay. So you crit fail, and you're going, you stop driving the ship because you set it on fire, and you're just over on the right side of your ship talking trash to that ship and to Roland the Red, and you're starting to drift right and closer to them, and they're gonna have advantage on attacking you. Okay, they rolled a 19. So, because you're, I'll do it with my hands. So my right hand is their ship, and so they are slowly starting to go back, and you're inching forward, but then you're starting to inch to your right and come around, so they can sort of see the front of your ship, like it's a little bit more exposed now because you're starting to turn. And with that 19, a cannonball is fired, and your ship is struck.
Owie.
And it takes off the big front mermaid on the front of your ship.
No!
Paelias, I want you to roll me another steering roll, doing whatever you've been doing, because your guys downstairs are doing a lot of work. One rolled a natural 20, one rolled a 16.
7.
Okay. So lost by your I'm watching you just like practice rolling, and like I just saw another crit fail.
Dude, this is unreal.
Which is crazy because you were rolling the same dice you were rolling last time, and but so you rolled a 7, and so you're like no, and you're taking a second to like you're turning the helm to the left, and you're slowly starting, but your Terrid had with his natural 20 really dug in with the oar and is almost using it like a spike, and him and Gromuk have really sort of helped turn it in with you slowly doing it. They're like really more, accurately sort of turning you, and now you're in much closer range, but now it's just your back is exposed to them, and you're within the next I'm going to say three rounds or 3 rolls or whatever. You will be crossing the finish line, and they are perpetually slowing down because their stuff is. And it shows in their rolls because they just got a 6 and a 10, so they are slowing down for their driving stuff. I'm going to give them a fire cannon shot at you. And, dude, if you think you're rolling bad, again, only bad guys this time. Double crit.
Unreal.
Double crit fail.
That's ridiculous.
And so, like, your guys roll here. Let's see here. 12 meets, and then 13 with the okay. And so and so you guys are roll me just because you're in the home sail, you're in the home stretch, and you kind of realize it at this point.
14.
Good. You've got your stuff back together, and you're like, all right, Paelias, let's get it back together. And you right it, and you straighten your ship out, and the wind perfectly catches your sail again, and you hear Dip up down. He's like, I can see the flag up ahead, sir. It's not more than 2 turns away.
All right. Keep it steady, boys.
They keep it steady. The other guys are going to try to fire at you one more time, see if they can sink you. Oh, my God. Another crit fail and a 4. So the one guy who's like on the front with like the long range cannon that was shooting at the targets, like he was like, they hit a bump and he goes back with the cannon, and then as he's trying to push it back forward, he'd already lit the fuse. So when he's pushing it forward, the barrel aims down and it shoots through the deck of the and out the front, and they're starting to take on a little water in the front now, and they're really starting to slog and slow down. And he, you hear Roland the Red yelling like, everybody move things to the back, keep the nose out of the water, do what I say, and keep firing on them. And, 9 and 7, man. For those idiots. So you guys, yep, both of you guys meet, and, you guys cross the finish line. You see the flag, and you hear everybody on the land, along the docks where you guys snuck just 2 nights ago, let out a huge cheer because they were like, "Oh man, A, he's crazy. B, he won, and C,
that's right.
The ship has no sails anymore." And is probably going to have to be towed back to harbor because they're pretty much at a dead stop, and like you just sort of see like the boat slowly sort of tipping back because they're moving anything like all the cannons. You don't see the cannons outside, and they're putting it all in the back so it keeps that nose out of the water so it doesn't take on water. And You see, like, one of the other guys, like, one of the other ships that were, like, people scrambling to, like, man the sails and do all this stuff, and you sort of, like, come back in, and just to be a real jerk, you flip your ship around, and you park in the front spot, which is where Roland's ship was.
Yeah, it's my spot now.
Yeah, and everyone in the town is there greeting you and cheering you on. The bread man is there. Grokok is there. She, like, she's hugging her brothers. She picks you up and, like, crushes you in a big old hug, and, like, kind of shakes you, and, like, your feet, like, go back and forth, And they can't believe it. Everyone's celebrating you. One of the all those little mini bars or whatever, the one you see the owner that you saw the night when you snuck past, and he brings out ales for all of you, and everyone's having a great old time, and you guys celebrate there on the docks as Roland the Red is being towed back in.
What a ponce. Well, we did it. We beat him. That felt good.
Yeah, and everyone can't believe it. They're like, you know what this means, right, Paelias?
Yeah, I'll get that ship. Yeah, no, I know exactly what it means. Yeah, no, I'll get that big old ship.
And, yeah, you... I love it, dude. And see, like... And for the listener, in case you're wondering, we were both rolling bad.
Very bad.
Like, some of the times, my guys weren't rolling, or his guys weren't rolling well either. And then I'd be like, oh, nope. And so, like, I would make it harder, and I would give them advantage on shooting stuff, and but they just started rolling. Like, even now, the two dice that I'm rolling, I just rolled them, and they rolled a 3 and a 2, and they're getting slowly drugged back into you guys are sitting around having a couple ales. The crowd is still kind of partying, but it's dispersed a little bit. You're up at the bar now, like up at that up the little side, the sidebar or whatever, because you're waiting. You got to get the paperwork. You got to get the deed.
Give me that pink slip.
And finally, the crowd starts to quiet, and as the crowd quiets, you just hear clunking, 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 and it is Roland the Red pushing people out of the way, and like he has a rolled up parchment in his hand, and he looks at you, and he says, "I don't think that was fair."
Oh, you didn't think that was fair? A race between two pirates? No duh, if I may quote an old friend of mine. Yeah, of course it wasn't fair. You also had a huge boat and a full crew. I had 4 people I just met the other day. Who was it unfair for, Roland?
And he kind of tucks the thing inside of his pirate jacket. He tucks the ownership papers to his ship inside of his jacket. And he looks at you and he says, "You and me, right here, right now. Finish it for the paperwork.
Oh, look,
if I win, I won't burn your ship to the ground. If you win, you can have my ship."
All right, that seems fair. Like to the death, then?
And without waiting for you to say to the death then, with a quarterstaff on his back like Donatello, all of a sudden it comes out of his jacket. 16 to hit?
Yeah, it hits.
All right, he whacks you right in the top of the head.
Owie. Good shot. I didn't see that one coming.
And you take 3 things of bludgeoning damage. And he whacks you right in the top of the head for that. And now it's on.
All right. I am going to... I'm going to cast Burning Hands.
Okay.
It's hold my hands together, a 15-foot cone in front of me.
Okay.
Each creature must make a dex saving throw.
15?
Yep.
Cool, 17.
Okay, so you take 2d6 fire damage.
That's right.
So 6 damage.
Okay. He takes that. So how much did he take?
6. 6 fire damage.
Okay, so he takes 6 fire damage, and he like kind of goes back and he gets hit, and he's like, oh, you've got quite a few tricks up your sleeve then. Well, so do I. And he is going to cast Scorching Ray upon you.
Alrighty. Looks like it's on.
Okay, and he's going to cast it at 3rd level. And that gives him 4 rays of fire. Make a ranged spell attack for each ray. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 fire damage. So he's going to roll 4 d20s on you. 18, 17, 19, 12.
They all hit.
Okay. Do you roll d6s for each dice? Or each bolt?
Let me look at the spell thing.
Or is it just total?
Yeah, it's for each one.
Oh, jeez, okay. 6, 5, 7, 10. 6, 5, 7, 10, 17, 23, 29. He was not happy with your with your action against him.
All right, that one stung. I'm gonna cast a lightning bolt at him.
Okay.
And it's a dex saving throw.
Okay, 15 again?
Yeah.
Ooh. 12.
Nice. All right, so 8d6. He really hurt me.
There's 3d6 for you. Holy crap.
I'll roll
dude.
these and then I'll roll 3 more. 32. 32 lightning damage.
32.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you just halved his life, basically.
Well, you over halved my life. I don't have a lot of health left, so I'm pulling out the big guns.
He doesn't either. Because you did, what was the first one? You did 6?
I did 6 and then 35, I believe.
32.
32, that's right.
Yeah,
32.
50. Okay. So, and what did you just hit him with?
The lightning bolt.
Okay, so lightning bolt, and so you hit him with lightning bolt, and I'm assuming it's like it's the same thing that you have been using.
Yeah, I've used it before. Yeah. Same
So
thing.
it shoots out above his head and it comes down and it just zaps him, and it's kind of like your classic spell there, the lightning bolt, and he just like he does not like that, and once again it's and he like falls to the ground. He's kind of smoking, and he in a very weird sort of voice and like moment of weakness almost, he's like, Harley.
Oh, is that?
And he reaches inside of his jacket and holds out the paper.
Paelias goes over and snatches it up. Goes, all right, that sounds more like it. Unlike your talk now.
And then Tarrant and Gromach pick him up, and they're like, we're gonna take him. We're gonna take him to the jail, essentially.
Put him in the brig.
Yeah, we're gonna lock him up, and So they take him to the town. They take him to the town jail, and restrain him. Tarad gives him a nice punch, and Gromok hits him a couple times in the gut. Just to tell him to be quiet. And now everyone cannot believe what's going on. Grogok, all of a sudden, you feel you're being picked up from behind, and she lifts you up onto her shoulders, and she's over 7 feet. So
all right.
And then she puts her hands up. She goes, "Let's hear it for Paelias, the conqueror of Roland the Red."
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna wear that title for a long time.
And then everyone goes like, "Huzzah, huzzah!" And she says, "Celebration at the Rusty Tankard. First hour drinks are half off."
Oh, yeah. Oh, now we're talking.
And she goes, "You drink for free, idiot."
Oh, what? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had no gold either, so this works out perfectly for me.
You were taken back to the Rusty Tankard, and people are slapping you on the back and telling you like how they believed in you all along, and how you knew they knew you could do it, and all this sort of stuff. And they won money on betting. They're like, "Sorry, but I won more money betting against you than I did." But and people are just feeding you drinks.
I go over to Grogok and to Tarad, and I pull out the parchment to the Howling Knight, and I go, "Here, I think you should have this.
They're like,
I've already got a ship."
And they say, "Thank you very much. We'll keep it safe for you, and we'll make sure that we use it for money, to make money with honest trading and that sort of thing. But if you ever need it, it's always here for you."
Perfect.
And then you look at Grogok and you say, "Have a drink with me." And she goes, "All right, just one."
No, that's what
I don't.
say.
I don't drink that much.
Well, we'll see about that.
And because you'll also remember the other night, even though like you guys were all kind of like standing around and people were hungover, while she may have slept in because she stayed up late, she wasn't drinking. She was just like staying up late with you guys, serving you guys and that sort of stuff. So she was just tired and she slept in. And so you guys drinking, and the night just becomes a whirlwind and a haze. And in the morning, you wake up in a very comfortable bed, and you feel the familiar bobbing of a ship. But the bed is much bigger. The linens and the blankets and everything are just very, very fine. And you open your eyes, and immediately you're like, "This is not my captain's quarters."
Oh, this is new.
What would you like to do?
Paelias gets up in his groggy, hungover state, as usual, and he starts stumbling around trying to get his bearings.
As you stumble around, you see like a half-drank bottle of something like on the. It's got a table in there, like you could eat in there if you wanted to. It's a small table, but so there's like a half-drinking bottle of like your favorite whiskey that's sitting there.
All right. Paelias looks around and tries to find something to eat real quick because he's not feeling good. And is there a port window he can look out?
Yeah, this is a much more elaborately designed captain's quarters than yours. So this is like, you're like, "Oh, this is a fancy ship. Where am I?"
He looks out and he's trying to get his bearings, and you can tell he's in the dock, right?
Yep. You see, you're in the dock, and you see like the little, stands as you have. You're just not in your specific dock because you're a little bit farther back because you can kind of see the stands up, and you actually see your ship about three things up.
Oh, all right. So, not in my ship, that's for sure. And can I check to see if there's anything interesting or unique that I could, take or make use of? Any magical items or any fun stuff like that?
Yeah, make me a perception check.
This won't go well. Nope. 2.
You're so hungover that you're just kind of like fumbling around, and you're kind of like stumbling, and like you're probably still super drunk, and you kind of like just you're bashing into stuff, and like you're knocking stuff over, and you finally kind of like fall out the doorway and like onto the the deck of the ship, and you realize that the ship has sails that are completely burnt up. And you're like, it's way too bright for you, but you're like, oh, those sails are all burnt.
I think I'm on the Howling Night.
And which technically is your ship.
Oh, nice. That's right.
So,
my ship.
So, yeah, I mean, if you want to stay on there and, get your bearings about you and search it more, there is gold on there. There is supplies. There is, supplies for your ship that you could use. There's gunpowder. There's cannonballs, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I want to see how much gold I can fit in my little pouch.
Okay. So you go, like, once you realize where you are, you've got a little bit more. We'll see you have advantage, and you go back through the captain's quarters, and you want to start searching for gold.
I'm totally going to roll 2 ones. I know it. I just know it. Okay. Oh, a 19.
Okay. So once you walk in, you realize what kind of bed this is, and you're like, oh. And so you undo the latch, and it flips up onto the wall, and the bed disappears.
Oh.
And clearly, you wondered why the bed was so high, because underneath it are 4 chests.
Oh, boy. And he starts opening them vigorously.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get that loot table, hey?
Yeah. Loot. I totally forgot what this was like.
Nice. You open up one of the trunks, and there is peridot, which is a transparent, rich olive green gem. A bunch of those mixed in with alexandrite, which are transparent, dark green gems, and aquamarine, which are transparent, pale blue gems. And knowing your gems, you have about 500 gold pieces worth of gems there.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, you will have to trade them in and that sort of thing and do a little haggling. Let's see. Because this guy's been out there for a while, and that this guy, you know who this guy is, and he's Roland the Red. And let's see here. Ooh, you open up another trunk, and you see a big thing of emeralds and black opals. Ooh, and just emeralds and black opals. More emeralds, though. It's kind of like a majority of the trunk is filled with emeralds, and then kind of like in the center, like almost like an eye, there's like a nice little thing of black opals. And you realize that this is probably worth about another 500 gold pieces if you could trade it all in. And then the final 2 are just filled with gold coins. They're just classic loot and plunder, and okay, you get 1,200 gold pieces right then and there.
Nice.
So, I want you at this time, as you're going through it, as you're starting to get all excited, I want you to roll me another perception check.
Alrighty. Do I get advantage? Oh, nice. Because
you're excited about loot.
I freaking need it.
And you keep bending over, and you keep
10. The other was a crit fail.
All right. I'll put it at a 10. So finally, as you're like leaning over, and you keep like leaning over, and like, the looking at the trunks and opening, and like, oh wow, look at all this, and then you stand up and you pop the other one and you lean over. All of a sudden, you notice 2 very interesting things on your chest. One of them, you take your shirt off. One of them is what seems to be half of a gold amulet. And below that is a very, very large tattoo of a familiar looking half-orc barmaid throwing back ales.
Oh my gods. How drunk did I get? Oh, it was a good night.
And that's where we leave this single solo tale of Paelias Eonerth. Oh, what are the next adventures he's going to have? Well, a little epilogue to this. Paelias, after he collects himself, he sets out within a couple of days after commissioning work and using some of his gold and gems through, like, you know, to rebuild the ship so it can immediately get back out. You know, the howling night, and to immediately, you know, get more sails, get, you know, everything that needs to happen so it can be fixed. And within 3 days, Paelias and his ship, the Pale Lady, missing the friend of the mermaid. You miss her. You do a little bit of patchwork to kind of, like, you know, make sure that, like, that trap door that was there is, like, you know, fully sealed and secure now. So, you know, there's no water seeping in, and you spend some time in your boat and kind of, you know, almost attuning with your boat, as it were. And every now and again, as you're really getting into the woodwork and really focusing on the craft of, like, you know, filling this hole and, you know, taking something that you carved from one single piece of wood and adding, you know, something into it, you know, you feel the amulet glow a little bit on your chest, and the ship kind of, like, has, like, a vibrancy and a life to it, and you start to feel more connected to it. You say goodbye to your new friends, Terad, Grokok, Gromok, Dip, and Stralgon, and you sort of set off, and you start to go a little bit north and start to head a little bit west as well. And that is the tale of Paelias Eonerth, and
nice.
how he became less of a scoundrel and more of a good guy.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this single solo session, and that's it. For Chaotic Amateurs, I've been your host and DM, Bentley Michaels. Across from me is
Dash as Paelias Eonerth.
Grab your swords and keep on adventuring.
Follow us across all platforms with Chaotic Amateurs. Please subscribe, rate, and review our show on your podcast app of choice to help us climb the charts and find new adventurers. Or become a patron on Patreon to help our heroes continue their quest. Thank you for listening to Chaotic Amateurs.